as the snow begins to fall here in the mountains of Colorado, I got to rep my favorite spot, Keystone. Easily the best in terms of the village and the skiing and the mountain. The night skiing there is sick too. So, repping Keystone here today. So rarely do I get to thank my alma mater anything related to football. As a fictitious bird from Kansas, it's very rare that we, as the aforementioned fictitious birds, get to celebrate anything football related. And this is just a point in case about the oddity that is trying to pick winners. Because I always say, separate your head from your heart. I have zero allegiances. Not Oregon might be my only one, but they won me a lot of money a long time ago, and they introduced me to this wonderfully challenging world that I love. So point in case is I had Texas. I will admit it. They should not lose as 32-point favorites at home. And but as I said before, I am jolly. Happiness is oozing out of every orifice because I get to make fun of Texas football, and it is open season. And anytime I get to make fun of anything Texas, let's go. Who's ready for some fun stats about the Longhorns? Since 1997, with the largest payroll in amateurism history, you have won the conference twice. Fun comparison time. Since 1997, Colorado has won the conference once, and they play in the Pac-12. Since 1997, Texas A&M has won the conference once, and they play in the SEC. Since 1997, Nebraska has won the Big 12 conference twice, and they play in the Big 10. Another team since 1997 that has also won the conference twice, the same amount of times that you have, is Kansas State. Since 1997, your much, much smaller, hated rival, who you call Hicks, which I think is just hilarious, has won the conference a record 14 times and 6 years running. Since 1997, you have made it to 5 conference championship games. Since 1997, Nebraska has made it to 5 conference championship games, and they play in the aforementioned Big Ten. Since 1997, Colorado has made it to 4 conference championship games, and they play in the aforementioned Pac-12. Since 1997, the aforementioned hated rival has won the conference championship game 11 times, including the last 4. Since 1997, you have won the conference championship game twice. You are 4-7 against TCU. You just lost outright as a 32-point favorite at home. The people who are in charge of and running the aforementioned highest payroll in amateurism history are nothing less than inept morons who are incredibly terrible at their jobs. And I don't know how. I kind of do, actually. Why nobody in the state of Texas seems to be questioning a damn thing. That's right. You're too busy making sure women don't get abortions. Let's do some lines. As I said, all lines and information are brought to you by oddshark.com. They are one of the greatest resources for this stuff that I have ever used. They're the only outlet, they're the only information outlet that I use when I'm looking up splits and historical facts and historical matchups and everything that's been happening. So I'm going to dip my toe in the association tonight, as there are 13 games, 12 games, and so it is a loaded schedule here tonight. I'm also going to dip my toe in college hoops as well. Full disclosure, I tend to stay away from these and hockey until after Thanksgiving. I understand that there are teams that start hot, and that's an opportunity missed. If you are someone who feels comfortable about just going off of your sheer instinct and no really information to go off of earlier in the season, and you have success, bravo. Please hit me up. I'd love to know how you do that. Not saying that I don't have any, but to call it consistent would to be a lie. It's just it's so hard to know chemistry, matchups, lineups, and everything that kind of goes along with the game of basketball, which, in my opinion, it's much more effective to know what you have after a month. And I've always used Thanksgiving as a very good cutoff. However, let's see if we can find some edges. Let's see if we can find some leans here tonight. The first game that I'm looking at in the association is Phoenix at the Timberwolves. Minnesota is 1-7 against the spread in their last 8. Phoenix are 7-0. The last 3 times these two teams have played, Phoenix has won twice. They average to win by 10. Right now, the spread is Phoenix at 4. And so what that means is if Phoenix was at home, they'd be 8-point favorites. And so I'd even like it at 8. Minnesota, this is why I'm going with Phoenix. Minnesota's 1-6 against the spread at home. Phoenix is 4-1 on the road. So another thing you might want to take a look at is Phoenix is 1-4 to the under on the road, while Minnesota's 1-6 to the under at home. Right now, the over-under is 222.5. I think Phoenix in the under is a good lean. Once again, we're only 12 games in. Some teams haven't even played 12. They're still at 10. But Phoenix is 8-4 against the spread. They started 1-4. They're 7-0 their last 7. Sometimes you find the hot hand, and that's what happens often on the court itself, is when one of your teammates gets the hot hand, you feed them the rock. And I think Phoenix figured something out. I also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Patrick Beverley on the Timberwolves? So Chris Paul is definitely going to come to play tonight. I don't see him on the injury report. I see that Sarge is out and Ayton is questionable. Questionable usually means that he might get some minutes. And I think these are two teams going in opposite directions. Phoenix is 9-3 straight up. Minnesota's 4-8. So I think Phoenix. I think Phoenix is a pretty good lean tonight. That's something I do. So the next game that I'm looking at is Celtics Cavs. Now, this would be one of the instances where I feel like I may have missed the boat because I don't do anything until the holiday. Cleveland's 11-3 against the spread. They're 9-5 straight up. Last time I checked, they're 3rd in the East. While the Celtics are 6-7 straight up, 7-6 against the spread. And so, yeah. Do I feel like I missed out on Cleveland? Well, sure, but I also know that. I firmly believe in reverting to the mean. And so maybe I'll catch him on the downfall later on the season. Maybe teams will figure him out. Or maybe this is just one of those seasons where they do go on a run and we've got the holiday in a week. So what we missed out on not even a third of the season, quarter of the season. So the reason why I wanted to look at this game though was because these two teams just played 2 nights ago. And Cleveland won 91-89, just a slugfest. The Celtics are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. Their one loss was against Cleveland. Cleveland's 8-0 against the spread in their last 8, and they're 11-3 overall. So they started 3-3 against the spread. They've racked off 8 in a row where they've covered every game. This would be a stay away or the under. Now the under is 199.5. Now I know what you're thinking, but they almost they were 81.7. I mean, they were still a significant amount of points at 89-91 under 200. And so I think and these two teams obviously are going to be slugging it out because that's what happened. That's what happened the last game, and the Celtics are 3-4-1 to the under on the road, and Cleveland is 1-5 to the under at home. So I would lean either stay away, enjoy it as Cleveland's one of the more pleasant surprises of the NBA, I think, that we'd ever seen. So that would be my play. I would lean Cleveland because they're 5-1 against the spread at home, and the under. Heat Thunder is another interesting one. I still think the Heat, from what I've seen, I do keep up with it. Just because I don't wager on it doesn't mean I'm not checking the standings and checking the scores. I still think when healthy, Miami is the best team in the East. Now they're on the road. They're 9-4. Sorry, 8-5 straight up, 9-4 against the spread. Oklahoma City is 5-7 straight up, 7-5 against the spread. Last three, the Heat have won and covered 2 out of 3. They average winning. They average to win by 13 or more. They're 10-point favorites tonight. Man, that's a lot of points. Oklahoma City's 4-2 against the spread. Marcus Morris is still out. Jimmy is questionable. Victor's still out. Adebayo is probable. Okay, so he's probable, so he'll play. Man. If I had to lean anywhere just because of the points, I like points. When it comes to basketball, I like points. There's so many weird things that can happen at the end of a game. And if I can get home in points, that's generally a good rule for football as well. If you can get home in points with a good, solid team, I will be happy to take it. Oklahoma City's 4-2 against the spread at home. Not the worst, and I get 10 points. The Heat have been on the road a lot. They just beat Utah, and that was 2 nights ago. They lost to the Lakers. They lost to the Clippers. They beat Utah after losing to Denver. That was obviously the Jokic game. I'd still love to talk about the Jokic brothers versus the Morris twins, Jimmy Butler and Udonis Haslem in a fight. I think it'd be fascinating. Anyway, so Miami, they just beat Utah. They may have rallied, if you will. I can see them winning this game. I can also see them just kind of coasting at the end. I see with Oklahoma City, I think the back door will be open. So let's go ahead and lean towards Oklahoma City at home, taking 10 points. The next game is actually New Orleans against Washington. And the reason why we're looking at this one is because Washington is another surprise. 9-3 straight up, 8-4 against the spread. I believe they're second in the East right now. But New Orleans has won 2 out of 3. They've also covered 2 out of 3. But something is up with New Orleans as they've lost. Jeez. They're 2-12 straight up, but they're 6-8 against the spread. They've covered 2 out of the last 3. Ugh. This just turned into, Washington's 5-1. Washington's 5-1 against the spread at home. They're 8-4 straight up. New Orleans is 2-5 against the spread on the road. Ooh, this smells like poo. Washington's only favored by 4. Ugh. Yuck. Something smells there. Stay away. Now we're going to dip our toe into college hoops. I'm looking at some pretty random games, so you're going to have to bear with me real quick. First game that we're looking at, the Lamar Cardinals versus the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. These two teams played last in 2018. G-Tech won by 20. They covered the 12.5 point spread. Lamar is 7-2 against the spread in their last 9, while Georgia Tech is 9-3 against the spread in their last 12. So it's kind of hard to find some common ground where you can do some kind of a comparative analysis of two teams so early in the season. But this one, we had it lap on our shores. So on November 13th, 2 nights ago, Lamar played Miami of Ohio, and they lost by 30. They were 12-point underdogs, and they lost by 30. On November 9th, so a week ago, Georgia Tech played Miami of Ohio. They were 10-point favorites, and they lost outright by 3. So I'm going to definitely be looking into Miami of Ohio, as they have beaten 2 hot teams. What I would see here is that Georgia Tech is just a much more well-rounded team, and they're they're favored by 20. Ooh, that's a lot of points. Man, that's a lot of points. However, as I said, if you do a comparative analysis with a common foe, Lamar lost by 29. Georgia Tech lost by 3. The difference to me is 26, and Georgia Tech's at home. This could become a rout. And Georgia Tech's hit the over in 6 of their last 8. Overs hit in 9 of last 13 for Lamar. Over-under's 140. I think a good lean is G-Tech in the over. It would not surprise me at all if G-Tech hits 100. Not at all. Yeah, let's go G-Tech in the over. I think that's a good lean. The next one is a big brother, little brother opportunity. Bowling Green is playing Ohio State. Ohio State, who's 2-0 but 0-2 against the spread, and have had some pretty shaky results here. Now, another opportunity for us to use a common foe as kind of a comparison. Now, I understand that it was last year, but it was also at the end of the year. Ohio State played Akron on the 9th, so a week ago. They eked out a 1-point victory as 17-point favorites, which they are tonight, against Bowling Green. Bowling Green, they played Akron on March 11th. And Bowling Green, let me just make sure of that. Yep, they returned 4 starters and 75% of the minutes that were played a year ago. That information is courtesy of my friends over at VSiN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network. I use them a lot. Those guys are fantastic. Hopefully one day I can become some kind of a guest. Would love to fly out to Vegas. Follow the Money is an awesome spot. I'll put that out there here in my on my Instagram post here today. However, so Bowling Green lost by 7 when they played Akron. February 26th, Bowling Green played Akron. They beat them by 12. So, do I think that Ohio State's going to lose this game? No. But I think 17 is a lot of points, especially for the little brother. So I'm going to lean with the Falcons. The next game is Furman against the Belmont Bruins, the Paladins. The reason why I'm looking at this game is because Furman just beat Louisville. And ACC, regardless, Furman just beat Louisville. They're also 1-0 against the spread. They're 2-0 straight up. The first game, I guess, wasn't against a team that Vegas allows to be maybe like Division I, AA or something like that. And they are 7-point dogs. And as I said, I like points. And so I will take Furman as a road dog, just coming off a good win against Louisville, whereas Belmont already has a loss this year. They were 5-point favorites against Ohio and lost straight up by 12. So I think Furman can do enough to keep it close here tonight. So those are some leans. As I said, I don't normally dip my toe this early into it, but hey, a lot of people say some people gotta, some teams, someone has to cover that game, right? Okay, well then let's do it. Let's hope that this works out. I hope you had some good luck over the weekend, and whatever action you have tonight, good luck with your bets.